In Anoka Hennepin schools, we stay above the line. As high school students, we've got a lot of school spirit.
And when we compete in athletics, that spirit goes through the roof.
Our pride runs deep. And sometimes competitions can get messy. But our friends and competitors all deserve a safe environment.
That's why this season and every season, we're committed to competing with class.
It's not okay to taunt, trash, or throw shade at our opponents.
We don't play that way. As players and as fans, this is the way we play the game.
We build up our teams.
We respect officials.
And we give props to the other team, even if they beat us. We are not alone. Our high school coaches, administrators, and staff are committed to confronting and eliminating bad behaviors.
Because insensitive, offensive, and hateful behavior
has no place in our high school or in our activities.
Everyone has a role to play.
So whether we're at home or away, join our school communities
as we show everyone this is the way we play the game.
Anoka Hennepin fans, whether you cheer for the Huskies, Cardinals, Bengals, Rebels, or Tornadoes, let's stay above the line.
And a pleasant good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, from the Anoka Fieldhouse, where tonight QCTV and QCTV.org are pleased to bring you Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball action between a couple of rivals, the Anoka Tornadoes and the Champlin Park Rebels. The Anoka Tornadoes come in tonight with a record of 11-3. The Champlin Park Rebels come in with a record of 5-5. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Anderson alongside Ryan Nelson-Kane. And Ryan, we had a chance to watch this Anoka team last week look really impressive when they played Blaine. Going to be a tougher matchup tonight. This Champlin Park team can do a lot of things.
Sure can. One thing to watch, though, is Champlin got handled a little bit in the first half by Andover last time they played. They come in with a 5-5 record. They don't look quite as clean or as technical as Anoka does right now. Anoka got back on track after 2 losses. They won against Coon Rapids in the interim since you and I last saw them. They're clicking on all cylinders right now. And they play a game that Champlin doesn't match up well against in the last couple of times they've played. So we'll see how it goes tonight, but it could be a good matchup. It could get ugly early.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The one thing to keep an eye on with the Tornadoes that I think is pretty interesting is how they've been able to get those young forwards to really play at a high level with Maddie Frecking and Lydia Lackinen. We saw what they did against Blaine. They've been tough to deal with all season long.
Absolutely. They're bruisers. They can get down low. They can get every single rebound. They can make every shot when they get down there, and they get hot. And the team knows when to feed them. So when they're hot down low, they go down low. When they get hot around the arc, they shoot threes. So Anoka can score, and they can score in bunches, and they can prevent you from scoring, which is a dangerous matchup in the game of basketball.
Should be a fun one to watch. This is a big one for the Rebels tonight. They haven't had as many games as the Tornadoes because they've had some cancellations and they've had some challenges, so they're trying to make up some games quickly. This is a big one for them to get tonight, and we'll see if they can do it. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening tap for you next on QCTV.
Back to the fence, and that's gone.
There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10 touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Yes! Scores on the deflection. The Andover Huskies win their first state championship.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. Good evening to you inside the Anoka Fieldhouse. Just about set to play some basketball here. Lineups are just being introduced. As you know, it's a big light show here at the Fieldhouse when the Tornado girls get introduced, and they're currently doing that tonight. It's a special pink out as they are raising money and awareness for breast cancer research. Fantastic cause. They do this every year, and they're all wearing pink this evening on the bench, and the coaches are as well. Starting lineup for the Anoka Tornadoes under Coach Nick Novak, who again has done just a terrific job. Sammy Mushangi, Lauren Youngquist, and Evan Apenga in the backcourt. Maddie Frecking, Lydia Lackinen down low. It's a very eclectic group, a good mix. They can do a lot of different things, shoot threes and really bang you around inside, as Ryan mentioned before. On the other side, for head coach Arthur Crutch, We have Nicole Lillard, Ashley Burchett, Ava Holman, who's really their star player. Keep an eye on tonight. She's got average 16. She took 16 points in the last game against Andover. She's frequently in double digits. Ryan Giles also down there. Mariah Pates in that starting lineup as well. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, one thing to note here as we get started early is just a little bit of a size disparity. It looks like a little bit of a height advantage at one position here for Champlin, but a weight advantage for Anoka here. They're going to be able to kind of throw their bodies around a little bit and hopefully get a couple of those rebounds and play physically down low.
Yeah, it's going to be the big key tonight is keeping your eye on Mariah Pates, number 22, in that matchup that she will most likely have with Lackinen or Frecking on the inside. But she's going to jump with Lauren Youngquist. And we're ready to play some basketball here at the Fieldhouse tonight on a Thursday. After some snow on the ground during the day, turned out to be an all right day after all. Let's tap it up. Tap one controlled by Pates off to Lillard. Nicole Lillard, quick feed and a shot from Ryan Giles from the outside. Missed it long. Good rebound on the inside, though, by Burchett. Burchett's another one to keep an eye on for this Champlin Park team as they're going to try to utilize speed on the outside. Quick fire from the outside for three, no good, and a rebound by Apenga.
Yeah, good pace there to start for Champlin Park. We're going to see them kind of utilize those passes around the arc and see if they can take some quick shots to see if they can run up the score a little bit here on Anoka and hope that Anoka makes some mistakes.
Nice feed by Youngquist to get inside, but she lost the handle. Lakkinen's going to stay with it. Missed the first one, put it back. That's going to be the thing to watch, Ryan. Can they keep her off the glass, both offensively and defensively?
So far, that's going to be a tough matchup for them. They don't really have anybody that matches up with her physically super well. So we're going to see if they can maybe get the ball and control it here and hopefully draw her off of the glass.
Bit of a zone from the Anoka defense early on. Thinking about pulling up was Burchett, but instead they're going to kick it back outside. Open three by Holman, missed the mark, and a rebound by Lackinen as she wrestles it away from Pates. Lydia Lackinen trying to dribble it up the floor. She's like a guard all of a sudden, drives it all the way in, feeds Youngquist for a little bunny, got it.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to defend for them as you're going to focus down low with who you have down there and Lackinen especially. But that kick-out pass is going to be deadly for them if they can complete that and make sure that they can get the shot off, too.
Holman with a great first step on Mushangi. Takes it up, no call. Wanted one, didn't get one. Rebound by Maddie Frecking. Now Frecking going to push the other way.
Some ill-advised shots here for Champlin so far.
Great steal by Champlin Park. Burchett drives on Lackinen. Lackinen swats it out of bounds. Well, you mentioned that size, Ryan, and there it is playing a factor again because inside it's going to be difficult for the Rebels to kind of get looks. So what they're going to depend on are those outside shots.
Yep, and they're going to look for matchups too. So anytime that you can get down low and have a height advantage, it's going to be good. But right now, I mean, you're just getting out physical. You're getting out rebounded on the glass. It's going to be really tough for them to do that, and threes are inconsistent at this level of basketball. So, if you can get open shots, that's great, but open shots are always going to be hard to come by.
Mushangi thought about three, but instead we'll go back to Lackinen. Feed Apenga, who we know is not afraid to shoot. Evan Apenga will shoot from anywhere in the gym. Back to Mushangi, guarded by Holman. Mushangi puts it on the floor with the left hand, trying to feed Lackinen on a bounce pass, but instead it's Pates who picks it off. Great play by Mariah Pates, and she'll dribble it back the other way. Holman, feed. Looking for, now take that back for Ryan Giles as Giles drives it in, and instead it's going to be again rejected at the rim. So when they get a clean look, they haven't been able to knock it down yet, but other times they're getting blocked. Lackinen going to drive on Pates, nice up and under, puts it away.
Really good start for Anoka so far. Champlin obviously not on the board yet. You'd like to see them get on the board the next possession or two. This can get out of hand quickly like we talked about. They got behind early at Andover and couldn't claw back in the second half despite a good second half. So this is going to be a morale thing for them if they can score here.
Got to hang in there. Ryan Giles thought about three, pulls it back out, guarded by Frecking. Inside Pates. Pates going to back down Lackinen, get the call, count it, and one coming for Mariah Pates, and that was a beautiful little move to get that look.
Yeah, that's a good job by Pates to make up for that because the poor pass ahead of time out to Giles there just missed, and there was an open shot that they could have had if it was on time, but it was just off target.
So Mariah Pates will head to the line, a junior. They have her listed as a guard. That just must be positionless. That's the epitome of positionless basketball if that's the case. They go to the bench though, so Pates is able to make that, so she gets the three-point play, and they go to the bench and they bring in Jaden Spann. So Jaden Spann first sub into the game.
A little bit of a size comparison there with Lydia Lackinen. The only person on the court so far it really looks like that she can compete with Lydia physically.
Oh, good feed for Lauren Youngquist to put that away.
And that's really what Lackinen does better than anybody else on the court right now, is gets down low, backs down, and is able to get that pass on time, on target, almost every time.
So Youngquist with a quick 4. She's not known to score a ton, but already getting her involved early. And now a quick steal. Lakinen's going to take it the other way. Feed to Frecking, and Frecking uses the left hand and scores. And another assist for Lydia Lackinen, as you mentioned.
She won't get credit for it, but that assist should go to Sammy Mishangi. That just, again, just like we saw last week, that hand is so quick to get in and just knock that ball away.
Burchett for 3 with a nice answer.
Goodness, what a shot.
Ashley Burchett with the rainbow 3, and it's 10-6. That was beautiful.
And just like that, they've gotten back into this. It's a 4-point game instead of a 6-point game, which is, you're a possession up.
Well, that was the key. They got to be able to make those outside shots, Ryan, as you specified, because that makes such a difference in the game. 10-6 is much different than 10-3. Lydia drives, draws contact, and almost knocks it down as Jaden Spain will get called for the, or Jaden Span, I take that back, will get called for the first one.
Yeah, good look there for Lydia. I mean, obviously you take the shot to get the foul, but I mean, just a really good recovery shot there. You'd like to see her sink that with a little bit more tenacity, but just a good job to get to the line.
It's one thing I like about Lydia. It seems like she's got really good body control when she's going up and getting into these contested shots.
That seems to be the theme with Anoka so far. Is the last 2 games that you and I have watched, they just seem to be in control of themselves through the game. They don't really make a ton of physical mistakes like you see some other teams do against them when they're playing physically.
Another sub into the game for Champlin Park. They go to the bench for Natalia Tolentino. Burchett catches at the elbow for a jumper. Got it. Oh, she's got a pretty little jumper.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot with someone in her face, too. And that was just put it up where it was going to be a good shot no matter what. Really over the defense. Just a good one.
Frecking from the parking lot. I'm not sure I love that from out there, but that was a heat check from Frecking. Now we go back the other way. Tolentino. Just got to trust that that's the number with the long hair. Now a drive by Burchett. Feeds back Span. Span back to Burchett. Burchett moves off of Youngquist. Now going to take a Penga. Little stop step. Back up top. Feeds Span. Span trying to turn around Lackinen. Lackinen able to tie up Span and take the possession.
Yet again, we're talking about Lydia Lackinen getting hot early.
Yes. Katie McKay, this is the sub pattern for Coach Novak. They like to go to McKay and Laurel Kuyan in this spot.
And we saw last week that Kuyan can kind of help get that offense going a little bit when they get into a little bit of a rut. So we'll see if she can be a little bit of a pest on defense, but really her game there is to come in and kind of shore up the scoring.
Swiped there is, boy, somehow Lackinen kept that in bounds. I have no idea. McKay, a Penga from way downtown, in and out, rebound by Kuyan underneath, puts it back.
That's just good, tenacious basketball there by the Anoka Tornadoes.
And that's one of the smaller players on the floor going up and getting an offensive board. Now Burchett drives, a little off balance, can't finish, rebound Lydia underneath. Lackinen looks ahead, but she's going to dribble instead, feed Frecking. Frecking going to try a little Euro step, but no one to go, and now back up top, Apenga will take it between the circles. Feed Frecking on the far corner. Maddie puts it on the floor with her right hand, guarded by Lillard. Lackinen now on Span. Nice cut by Apenga, puts it away.
Yeah, a couple of times here so far we've seen some Anoka players start to play a little bit of hero ball. Like to see them calm that down a little bit. Those can be big mistakes in a game. So far it hasn't burned them, but you'd hate to see it start to.
Another steal and then a quick foul called on Span as Lackinen feels like that's Lydia's move. Not necessarily looking for the outlet. She wants to put it on the floor and go.
Yeah, and it's going to limit the amount of opportunities other teams have to get the ball on interceptions if you've got Lydia carrying the ball up and handing it to your point on the way in. I mean, just a good aware play by her to keep the ball, just play possession, get down the court, and go get your points.
Holman back onto the floor. Also joining for the first time is, big foul there as Tolentino pushes Frecking as Frecking tries to drive on the baseline.
Ava Holman gets hit in the face with the ball there.
Thanks for playing. Yeah, no kidding. And also Brianna Jackson onto the floor here for the Champlin Park Rebels. So Coach Arthur Crutch moving to the bench quickly. trying to get some players involved, get that rotation moving for the Rebels. Inside feed, Frecking. Frecking back out Kuyan. Kuyan thought about a shot, gets bumped, keeps the possession somehow, but in trouble, has to go back up top, nowhere to go. Stolen by Tolentino. Natalia Tolentino pushing for the Rebels. Guarded by Lackinen. Inside feed, nice job as Pates was just freshly checked back in. Lackinen anticipated the pass and stole it. Lydia wants a full head of steam, drives, nice stop. Pates blocks that on the inside.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ill-advised shot. Looked like she just got thrown off her rhythm there.
I think she expected something. I think the Champlin Park Rebels kind of pulled the chair, did the old classic pull the chair out move. I think she was anticipating contact, didn't get it. Burchett, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, not much you can do there to defend that. That was just a good old-fashioned shot.
Ashley Burchett, impressive early on. She's got 7 for the Rebels, and they hang in this game early on, 15-10.
I think the question that I'd have is, what does this offense look like when she has to sit down? Can they sustain this pace and keep up with Anoka when she has to take a breather?
But Champlin is certainly not afraid to run. We're seeing that right now. Apenga trying to drive, goes back up top to Lackinen, and Lackinen kind of acting as a point forward right now. I want to talk about positionless basketball. Beautiful feed as Apenga can't finish. Youngquist or Frecking trying to finish inside, and we're going to get a foul first. Nope, held ball. Possession arrow to Champlin Park. And that's a good call. And Apenga had the layup on the baseline there on that feed from Lackinen. It was there. Sure
did, and it just feels like that Anoka's getting thrown off their rhythm here a little bit with some of the changes that Champlin's making through the game here, that chess match that we talked about last time we were here. You know, we just want to make sure that we can see Anoka adjust now. You know, you almost wonder if Champlin comes out and scores and makes this a one-possession game, if we'll see a timeout from Coach Novak here.
We'll get a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Nope, it's going to be an offensive on Mariah Pates. As Lizzie, they were trying to exploit that matchup against young Lizzie Shoknek, who just checked in off the bench.
And Shoknek, we saw last week, can score a little bit.
Yeah, she's got some, and she's, want to talk about toughness.
Yep.
That's what she does add, is a level of that.
Just a grinder.
Definitely.
Seems to be Anoka has a never-ending supply of those grinders on that bench.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? Mushangi, who checked back in after the foul on Pates. Pates is first, team's fourth. Kuyan tries to dribble with the left hand. Youngquist inside, gets bumped.
I don't think last week we saw a whole lot of Mushangi and Kuyan on the court at the same time.
No, I don't think we did. I think that's a good observation. So that's kind of a little wrinkle from Nick Novak.
Both kind of little speedy shot takers that you got to worry about a little bit.
So Olivia Mell picks up that foul, her first. Already 9 deep from Champlin Park. 8 minutes into the ball game. Youngquist makes the first free throw. I mean, they're playing this up-tempo game, but they just keep throwing the bodies at you. They do not stop.
No, and they're going to need to rotate a little bit, because I think athletically it looks like Anoka's just got them physically right now, and that's going to beat you up over the course of the game. So you want to make sure that you take your time and keep your breath.
Shoknek going to guard on the inside. Pates gets physical inside, and that's a great matchup for Mariah Pates. And I think they see it.
Yeah, you probably don't want Shoknek on her very much. That's a huge height differential and a pretty big physical one as well.
It's just about power. A young junior. Oh, and that's a steal. Beautiful steal by Holman. Ava Holman to the rack and can't put it away. Nice defense by Laurel Kuyan, but now she's trapped in the corner. Can she get out? No, she can't. Holman takes it back. She gets away with a travel. Chance for 3 on the outside. No good. Rebound by Shoknek. Nope. Tolentino gets a battle for it. And it'll be a held ball, turnover to Anoka. A lot of action. Boy, it's going back and forth.
Yeah, and it's getting more physical, too. So we're starting to see more physical play from Champlin Park here, trying to match that physicality of Anoka when Anoka's got their smaller team on the floor there. So we'll see now now that you've got Frecking and Lackinen back in the game, is that physicality going to keep up for Champlin Park, or are they going to revert back to that small game they were playing before?
So they bought some minutes from some of the players on the bench. Anoka's gone 8 deep to start the game here as well, but now starters are back on the floor. And that's not a great pass from Apenga. Stolen the other way. And a layup for Olivia Mell. Counted in one coming for the Rebels, and they got a chance to make it a 2-point game. Great play by Olivia Mell.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Anoka having to play a clean game, having to play a technical game. Yet again, that's a mistake they've made that now Champlin's taking advantage of, where last week Blaine couldn't take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, turnovers early on, and Champlin Park is certainly forcing their fair share of turnovers. They are not. It's not that there's a scarcity of opportunity.
Well, and they certainly are taking this game seriously. You know, they're coming in here. This is a rivalry game. They're going to want to win this one. Chance for them to get over 500 and get right a little bit. So if you're Anoka, you're going to know you're playing a team that's hungry, that wants this game really badly. You cannot make those mistakes early on because that's going to add up over time.
Youngquist picked up her dribble in a bad spot, but they were able to recover. Lackinen up top, guarded by Lillard. Lydia looking for a screen, doesn't get one. Now fakes a little ball fake, needs some movement here as Mushangi comes out to get it. Mushangi guarded by Mel, trying to feed over the top to Lydia Lackinen and is going to try to control it but can't finish it. That was a good opportunity there, but that time rushed that shot, not able to put it away. Champlin Park going to look for the equalizer right here.
Yeah, and just yet again, it just felt like they missed the timing on it.
Little razzle-dazzle for Mariah Pates. Mariah Pates up to 7 points. Boy, I'll tell you what, with the way Burchett's played so far and the way Pates has played so far, goodness. Good stuff so far from this Rebel team.
Absolutely, and you'd like to see
what
Anoka.
A move by Lackinen, and she puts it away.
You'd like to see Anoka slow it down a little bit and maybe take control, pass it around a little bit, start looking for a shot. They felt like they were getting hot early. Now you got to slow it down and grind this game to a halt again so that Champlin can't get in and stay in a rhythm here.
Yeah, you feel like Champlin loves this pace. They'll play this all day. Lillard with a pull-up from the elbow. Can't finish. Rebound by Frecking. Frecking will control it.
Teams that want to play fast play impatient when they have to play slow. So if you're a team like Anoka that has a physical advantage, come out and play slow. Slow the game down, grind it to a halt. Shot like that's probably not one you want to take there.
Penga loves those threes. That time not able to knock it down, but she's got a green light out there. Mushangi wants to go baseline inside, blocked by Pates. Mariah Pates was not having any of it. Timeout by Coach Arthur Crutch in Champlin Park. He'll take 30 seconds.
Yeah, and again, just the pace.
Let's take a look at these standings coming up in the Northwest Suburban Conference. As we talked about this last week, Ryan, that the top end of this conference is super competitive.
Yep.
And Maple Grove at 8-0, Centennial 6-2, Anoka 6-2 in the conference. There's Champlin Park in the conference at 5-3, Andover, Elk River, Rogers. I mean, there's some really good stuff up top.
Yeah, and you know you're going to have to play all of these teams.
Yep.
Right? You're going to hopefully beat all these teams. So tonight is a big matchup for both of these teams to get to the same record at the Champlin Park.
100%.
You're all fighting to keep pace with Maple Grove.
Well, they're off to a red-hot start inside the conference for sure at 8-0, doing everything that they want to do. It's been very impressive. The Crimson have had a year.
That's true.
They've had a year so far.
I mean, across the board, most sports.
That's just it. They've had a season to celebrate so far. Pates catching at the free throw line. Looking inside, tried to feed Jackson that time, but instead it'll be picked off and Frecking goes the other way. Now Lackinen. Mushangi thought about three, not going to take it. Instead being guarded by Jackson. Youngquist tries to go Lackinen up top, guarded by Lillard. Pretty good matchup here for the Tornadoes, and Lydia takes advantage. Very Dirk Nowitzki-like on the inside.
That's exactly what you want. You want her up against someone smaller, someone less physical. You'd like to see her not end up on Pates down low and then take that shot. Starting to see more aggression from Frecking on defense here. See if we can get some turnovers, agitate a little bit here, and see if we can draw a couple of more fouls because we know that Champlin's already had a few fouls, and we may start to see some more if Anoka starts to play more aggressively.
So Champlin will take Jackson out, so they're going to go Holman and Mel, along with Giles, who's just checked back in. McKay checks back in with Kuyan for Anoka. Catch at the elbow. Kuyan, quick feed, Penga. Looking to see if she can get this one to drop. Nope, 0 for 3 to start. Rebound by Frecking on the inside. Nope, it's a loose ball. Grabbed by Lillard. Nice pursuit that time from Champlin Park, and now it's a full head of steam for Ryan Giles. Giles challenges Lackinen and rejected inside.
That's a losing battle if you're Giles. And it's not a fight you want down low. You don't want to go against Lydia Lackinen. You're not going to outpower her.
Just a pump fake, right? Get her up in the air. See if you can draw that.
The game when you're playing against someone who's more physical than you is to get them out of position. And if you're up against Lydia Lackinen, you know that she's going to focus on who's driving to the basket. You should have somebody trailing behind who can take that shot from the elbow as soon as she goes up to go after that shot.
Chance for three from the outside, and there's Ava Holman getting involved in the action. Her first basket. And I know they wanted to get her going, and just like that, 1 point game. Penga calling a play from up top between the rings. Now she's going to drive. Now it's poked away by Holman, trapped in the corner, back up top for Lackinen. Lacking in a feed for Apenga, and they're going to reset again.
Probably smart. The timing gets thrown off, and again, there's Kuyan getting played physically, and that's going to be a tough matchup for her all night.
Oh boy, this is a dangerous pass, but Lakinen's able to get to it. Somehow, not able to finish it, but keep it alive, and they repost her. So smart on the inside. Back out, Kuyan's wide open for three. No, that's off the mark, and a rebound by Holman. Champlin Park can take the lead on this possession. They've been trailing the whole way. A drive by Holman, a heaved-up prayer, can't get it, and a rebound by Lizzie Shoknak.
Just an ill-advised shot there for Champlin Park. If you know you can take the lead, don't get impatient, slow it down, and take the lead.
Apenga wants one, just can't buy it right now. It's close.
Just
they
feels
look
like
good.
Anoka can't seem to hit one from three yet. We know they can get hot, but they're just not there yet.
And we know that Evan Apenga likes to live out there, and if she can get rolling, she can make them in bunches. But so far, 0 for 4 to start from the outside. She does have a hoop on the inside drive when she took it to the basket. They go with Burchette back in, so they gave Burchette kind of a nice long sit, and now she's back in.
Probably want her fresh for the end of the game. Make sure that she's not worn out.
Pate's catch on Lackinen. Nice up and under again. Defense was good. Now Holman on the outside for three, can't finish. Evan Apenga grabs the rebound.
Apenga may be playing a little bit of hero ball here. Might want to slow it down.
And does. Catches Lackinen on a feed. And another little Dirk move by Lackinen. And she's starting to feel it again here, up to 11 points.
Yeah, she's gonna be the horse that's running tonight. She's gonna pull this cart for Anoka.
Certainly seems that way so far. 11 of the 23 coming from Lackinen, along with a bunch of assists. Big three from Burchette. Speaking of an answer on the other end, how about 10 points for Ashley Burchette? And we got a ball game tied at 23 with 4:09 to go first half. Good stuff so far from the field house. Lackinen up and under move tries to go at Mariah Pates, and it's blocked out of bounds. Mariah Pates decides she wants to eat on the inside as well. Gets a big block. So far, Lackinen and Pates probably each with 3 blocks each.
Yeah, good physical game down low for each of them, but the story so far is what's going on around the arc. It just feels like Champlin's getting everything they want and Anoka isn't getting anything. Despite the fact that some of the shots that Anoka's taken have been better advised, more open, and better shots, they're just not falling.
Yeah, last couple possessions, certainly the three-pointer has been a great equalizer for Champlin Park. They've got a couple of them, and they've come at key times as well, in moments to tie game. Oh, Lackinen for 3. That's not quite where she lives, but how about that? Well, we just talked about getting some bounces. Lydia Lackinen gets the members roll from the outside. She's up to 14.
Well, we talk about how when you're really, really good, things just seem to go your way. Tonight, Lydia Lackinen's been really, really good. So we'll see if things keep going her way, because that's the thing that Anoka's going to need, maybe to take the lid off that basket from deep. She just kind of just waited for it and finally decided to take it. And I'll say this, if Lackinen starts to consistently make threes along with her inside game, I mean, good luck. It's going to be tough to deal with. Pates on the inside. Lillard. Inside Pates again, going to turn it around on Lackinen, air ball. And a rebound by Maddie Frecking, who hasn't even really gotten going yet. She's only got the 2 points, so she's someone to keep an eye on here over the next 3 minutes. That's someone who you're going to want to get going so you can take some pressure off of Lackinen here. Because right now everybody's going to be keying on Lackinen. She's going to be playing the physical game. It's going to be really tough for her to sustain that down the stretch and for the team to sustain it if she ever has to take a seat.
I think Ava Holman has 3 steals in this first half. She is reading the guards clearly, anticipating passes. There's a steal and a layup for Ava Holman. She's up to 5. Little drive on the baseline for Frecking with a nice reverse layup. Can't finish. Not a bad idea for Maddie Frecking. Just couldn't put it away. And a chance for the lead, but Coach Arthur Crutch wants a timeout first for Champlin Park.
Execution really lacking on that shot. I thought it was a good idea too. Just didn't quite get there. Just not quite enough under it.
And it kind of had a little weird spin. It just kind of came off. Didn't quite hit the center.
Champlin Park calls its first full timeout.
So it is a special, as we said at the beginning, a special night for the Anoka Tornadoes, as they do this every year, the Fight for the Cure night, as they donate a lot of the proceeds of their halftime stuff, and they have these special shirts that they wear pregame. You see the coaches wearing pink tonight. I gave Thomas Haggerty, the assistant coach, a hard time for wearing salmon. That's not pink. I would argue that is salmon.
You know, Tim, I hate to agree with you here, but you're right. That's salmon.
I feel like that's salmon. I think there's a clear difference between the two.
You know,
now, Coach Novak is wearing pink.
My wife would be the first to tell you that I have no eye for shades. However, that's salmon.
I mean, you have made us. You have cooked the salmon.
That's correct. In multiple kitchens.
So you know.
I had salmon tonight.
You know what salmon looks like.
That's right. I have a fresh idea. I saw it tonight. Had it on a nice little bit of sushi rice.
Well, you're living the good life, living the dream. Just coming out to a high school basketball game, but before we call it, we gotta have sushi and salmon.
You gotta have a pregame meal, Tim. You practice like you play, and I eat well.
I think I had some M&Ms.
You gotta get out to eat, Tim.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Anyway,
back to the game. Coach Novak usually rocking a pink or a black shirt. That's kind of his classic look, but tonight you can't miss him.
Yeah, workman's attire with the rolled sleeves there.
100%. Pates catches up top. I don't think the Tornadoes mind her catching it up there. Oh, that's a moving screen, 100%. 100% moving screen on Mariah Pates. And she just decided, I'm going to make a path for Ava Holman by just moving all these players out of the way.
Yeah, it looked for a second like Anoka might be about to pay, leaving somebody open beyond the arc, but you're right. Little foul there.
So we keep it moving, Lackinen back the other way and seeing if they can get an easy set.
Eyes up. She's not looking for a shot.
Looks for Lizzie Shoknek on a drive. Shoknek keeps her eyes up, but she's able to get it back.
Great recovery by Shoknek.
Oh, she traveled, though. Lackinen traveled. Good call.
It's a good recovery by Shoknek, but she's had a rough game so far.
Well, this is a tough matchup for her because she's first of all, she's still just a sophomore. And I think I like her as sort of this energy kind of glue player off the bench, but this is an interesting, it's a faster paced game.
Yep.
You know, it's a different matchup.
For sure. And you know, we saw last week that she can play really well in a matchup where Anoka is grinding, but Anoka trying to match pace here, and she just seems like she's a little out of sorts, making a couple of mistakes early here. If she can recover, I think she'll be fine. But
I'd like to set her up on a set piece, and maybe she can catch it from 6-8 feet from the basket and get a quick shot. Might be a good way to build some confidence there in the young sophomore, because they're going to need her down the stretch even this season. All of these young players that they have come off the bench, whether it's McKay or it's Kuyan or it's Shoknek, that's a young bench, and that when that young bench comes in there, I'm sure they're going to want them to hopefully, you know, feel comfortable enough to shoot, you know, and be effective in the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want players to be fresh down the stretch if you feel like you have a shot at going into sections competition. And this is a team that the way that they play, they match up well against other people who are around.
Beautiful pick and roll. Lydia just couldn't finish this. There was good contention. Good job by Maddie Frecking.
There she is.
Staying with the loose ball that time.
Yep.
But you saw that with a set play, Ryan. They ran a high pick and roll. They gave a chance for Lydia to get a look.
Yep, and what ended up happening was Maddie, your backup, you know, kind of down low there, ends up cleaning it up, which is exactly what you want when Lydia can't make it happen.
Burchette gets a contested jump shot, which is all you really want to do against her, is just try to get a hand up. It's hard to stop her anyway.
That hasn't been able to stop her so far. It's really the first time you've seen a hand up stop her.
Boy, she is tenacious defensively as Mushangi gets that one poked away. And the ball's still loose. And finally, Burchette's able to pick it up. Very physical around the half-court line. Mushangi may not have been ready for that. Good drive there by number 30, Mel, and not able to finish that one. Or take that back. By Vreeman. Alyssa Vreeman just checked into the game.
Yeah, and driving again into the chest of Lydia Lackinen is not going to be anybody's cup of tea. She'll wear you down, won't she? I mean, she's just a bear down there.
Well, the thing is that I think the thing with players that do a lot of things, Ryan, are like they wear you out because they cover the whole floor.
Yep.
Like when you go against your traditional power forward or center, like they just take up a spot in the low block, and you can kind of lean on them every now and again on a possession if you want to get a breath. But players like Lydia and Frecking, they're all over the floor. They're on the three-point line. They're end-to-end. Oh, big three right there from Ryan Giles.
And wide open, too. Just felt like Anoka just got caught looking at it.
So Giles able to give the Rebels the lead for the first time tonight at 30-28. Last possession potentially the first half. Apenga puts it on the floor. They've led the whole way. Youngquist, nope. Traveled. Yep, picked up your foot first. You can't do that. Got to put it on the floor first. Easy call for the officials. And now it's the Rebels who get last looks. They're not going to be able to get the sub in quick enough. Arthur Crutch was hoping to get to the bench, couldn't do it. And we're back in. Holman trying to drive. That's stolen by Youngquist. 1 second. They'll heave one at the horn. It's not going to be good. And just like that, Ryan, a good first half by Anoka to have a lead for most of it, and yet here come the Rebels. They come back in the end with a strong finish, and they lead by 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Anoka to swallow. You're going to want to come back and just clean it up in the second half. You had plenty of looks. You had plenty of opportunities. You should be up in this game. The problem is you didn't finish. You didn't do the things you needed to do. You didn't play a clean game down the stretch, and here you are down at halftime.
We'll see what the second half brings. It's going to be fun. Champlin Park leads by 2 at the break.
Welcome to our winter edition of At the Half, the show where we take a closer look at some of our area high school sports. I'm your host, Chuck Stens. Andover boys and girls hockey look to capitalize on their outstanding dual state championships last year. In order to continue their success into this season, let's talk with the head coaches from both teams to see what the teams have to bring.
I'm Melissa Volk, and this is my 10th year at Andover. Our expectations are kind of similar every single year to be getting better, as the season goes and be playing our best hockey come February. We're a year older. Last year we were super young with so many freshmen on the team, and now kids are kind of filling some different roles and kind of figuring it out this year. Our captains, Ella Berger, Issa Gettle, Maddie Brown, that top line of ours, and then also Kaylin Mum back at D, Courtney Stegman, our goalie, but then a lot of other players that fill some huge roles for us and give us that depth that we need. Yeah, so every game, we kind of get excited for and another opportunity to play with our teammates and whatnot. But tomorrow we play Minnetonka, so that's a big game. And then we're in the Dyna tournament after Christmas. Yeah, we love our youth girls. We're so lucky to know all of them on such an individual basis. But, the biggest thing that we preach here is just working hard and having a good attitude.
My name's Mark Manny. I'm the head coach of the boys hockey team at Andover High School. Well, last year's team, a lot of our skill up front was underclassmen. And when you have underclassmen leading your team on offense, they don't feel the pressure that seniors feel. So they tend to kind of play loose and play very well. Seniors sometimes, get the feeling it might be their last game if they lose, and sometimes that leads to not playing well. So we had the perfect combo last year of great senior leaders who were calm under pressure and juniors who played free. We'll see what we have this year. Our best players are going to be seniors this year, and sometimes, like I say, that's not a great recipe, and sometimes it is. So we hope our young guys get better every game, and then we get good leadership, and I think this team will be pretty good by the end of the year. Well, up front, our three big guys are Gavin Thorson, Caden Casey, and Cooper Conway. Casey and Thorson both had over 70 points last year. Conway was hurt about half the year, so he had his offensive numbers didn't look quite as impressive, but they're going to be our leaders up front. Throw in senior Mac Yell, and we're looking for big things offensively from him, and junior Ben Dahl as well. And after that, we're going to see who steps forward and kind of takes the mantle and runs. On the backside, Tristan May Robinson, senior captain, who's been a stalwart for us for 2 years now, and will be again for a third. And then Landon Stringfellow, a junior who played a regular shift last year and is getting better by the day. Back in the net, we lost Austin Bronze, who was probably the best goalie in Minnesota last year. So we're just looking for who's going to step forward and take that job. Got 4 very capable goalies, and any of them could be our starter by the end of the year.
The Tornadoes have some new dedicated members of their cheerleading squad. Let's check in with them to learn some more.
I started coaching this year. I used to coach at a different school for an elementary competitive team, so this is kind of a switch up, but I really like it.
My name is Jordan Waldinger, and I've been coaching here for 4 years. I'm going to be going on 5. I came here to be the assistant coach just right after I graduated high school, so I've been here for a bit.
Last year was kind of rough for us. We had a lot of drama, a lot of issues, but I feel like this year we have the most committed and hardworking team that I've personally ever seen.
Yeah, we are this is some of the most hardworking girls I've ever met. They're so committed. They want to win. They want to be here every day. They want to put in the work, and they want to get that bid.
I think there's just more energy, more effort. So I just think this team is just miles different than it was last year. They want to be here. I can tell they want to be here. They want to put in the work. They're putting in work outside of practice.
Yeah, the drive is really there. I enjoy it.
We learned from our middle school coaches that were old Anoka cheerleaders that learned different ways and different techniques and stuff. And basically, when we got our new coach, Caitlin, she brought in some new cheers that she did with her old team.
Also cheers that she had learned in high school herself.
Yeah.
So yeah, cheers end up kind of just being a big collaboration of what ends up working for the team and like what we like the most.
Our pyramids that we do in our competitive routine, we have performed them at football games just to kind of practice it in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And we've done a couple of routines at Pep Fest.
I think games that we cheer at, I feel that's more performing, and competitions I do view as like competing. Like it's more intense.
Our first competition of the year usually is regionals, and it's always the Saturday before Halloween. And then after that, we have competitions usually on Saturdays, every weekend or every other weekend kind of after that.
Until like late February when Nationals is.
When I got hired, that was my goal to the AD, was I would like to take this team to nationals. That's a huge goal for coaches as well.
Yeah.
So.
Coaching this team, we've gotten 2 bids, I think, and we just haven't gone yet. So I think that's always my goal.
Nationals. We want to get a bid.
Nationals. Yep.
The Rebels gymnastics team is committed to setting goals and improving throughout the season. Let's see what the team is up to and how they plan to seek success this winter.
We're down a bit, but I've always said I want to work with athletes who will work hard. Like if you love gymnastics and you work hard, that's who I want to work with. And we've got a core group of great girls. We've got an awesome senior leader in Melina Ung. I don't know anybody that's worked harder. So it's been a pleasure to coach her, and she's already been an awesome, invaluable captain, and I know that will keep going through the season.
We lost about half of our team, I'd say, and then we got a lot of new middle schoolers, which is really nice, so that we have a really young team right now, and I think the season will be really fun. We have our summer practices, and then we also do, I tried to do monthly team bondings over the summer before season started.
So the technique is the thing that takes a little bit more time and repetitions to build, and well, really all those things, strength, flexibility, but the strength and flexibility are what we really focus on as a coaching staff. Of those are things we can control. If you're doing your splits daily and really working it, you'll get more flexible. If you're doing shoulder stretches, and we do partner shoulder stretches and a lot of different stretches, you'll get more shoulder flexibility. So the strength and flexibility we focus on a lot. We focus a lot on improvement. So it's always a goal of ours with both our varsity and JV to have the team from that first meet to the end meet improve 8 to 10 points. And last year I think we got almost to 12 with the varsity, and I think maybe even 13 with the JVs. So those continue to be our goals. So this year we're just focusing on rebuilding those good team habits and that mentality towards improvement. And we're going to try and beat those teams that are at that same level that we're at, and show that we worked to be our best on that day.
That's it for this edition of At the Half. Make sure to keep up to date with all your local sports coverage by liking and subscribing to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Thanks for watching.
Pretty hard.
And welcome back, everybody. QCTV, QCTV.org. Fun first half. Tim Anderson, Ryan Nelson Kane here with you at the Anoka Fieldhouse. Champlin Park leads 30-28 as we get set to go for the second half. And Anoka led most of the way, Ryan. They really did up until the last 35 seconds of the half. But you credit this Champlin Park team. They really battled in this first half. They got down early. Things looked a little tough. And they just hung in there, made some shots, got some turnovers.
Yeah, and Champlin did a really good job of adjusting to the physical style of Anoka, where, last week when we saw Anoka, Blaine never really adjusted. They tried to out-physical Anoka themselves, and it just didn't work. Now we see Anoka kind of having to meet the pace of Champlin, and it's not working as well for them this time.
So we see what we do when we come out. We got the starters for both sides, and a quick miss by Pates on the side for Champlin Park to open things. So Anoka would love to get rolling with a quick basket. They get a high screen for Frecking. Frecking had 4 points in the first half. Lackinen led all scorers with 14. Apenga 0 for 4 from the outside. Needs to get it going, make it 0 for 5. On the inside, Frecking trying to stay with it. Gets the offensive board, gets pushed, no call. Everybody's falling over each other, and it's going to be Champlin Park basketball as we go the other way. Good physical play inside by the Rebels as they were able to keep possession. Now Burchette, who was really good in the first half for the Rebels, looks for Holman. Holman, step back three, fires. They can't get the members bounce because they're not members here.
That's right. Frecking got up a little slow after that one. She looks a little shaken, a little slow here.
That was a big collision there. Penga comes out and gets it, feeds Mushangi. I'd like to see her get more involved in this second half. She's a big piece of this offense and went scoreless in the first half, which does not happen often.
We said it last week that this offense hums differently when she's in there, and we haven't really seen that so far. The offense has looked a little disjointed, a little out of sorts. Obviously, they're running through Lackinen right now, who puts it up there and ties the game, but you'd like to see Mushangi get a little bit more involved.
Something to keep an eye on for sure as Lackinen finishes again on the inside. She's got 16 and having just a terrific night. Ryan Giles, Burchette the lefty, now pulls back for three and got it. Boy, that's so sweet, that jump shot. That is so good. That's her third three of the night.
Set up by a really strong screen there by Ryan Giles.
Drive by Youngquist gets rejected, and that's a big difference here, Ryan. The fact that we've got, on the side of Champlin Park, we've got 5 threes to 1. I mean, that adds up quickly when you can make more from the outside.
That's 5 extra points that you're not getting inside if you're Anoka trying to play your down-low game.
Drive by Mushangi. Drive and kick to Lackinen. Lackinen looks for a nice backdoor cut for Frecking, and it was there, but Frecking couldn't put it away. That play was right there for him.
And it should continue to be there, the way that Champlin's keying on Lydia Lackinen here. They're going to have some opportunities to get the ball to other places, but nobody else has really played particularly well tonight.
Yeah, we haven't been able to see, I think clearly for Anoka, the big key is obviously Lydia's giving them a nice push, but getting Frecking involved, getting Mushangi involved, getting Apenga going from the outside would be a big deal.
Apenga being ice cold right now is a huge difference in this game. She has not been able to pull that lid off the bucket so far. We'd like to see that happen now, but I just don't know that it's going to happen. She's rushing some shots. She's not really taking her time, and she's watching another shooter get hot on the outside.
Shooters shoot, though, as we know. Rebound Lauren Youngquist, who again has had a nice night on the glass, grabbing a lot of rebounds both on the offense and the defense. Ooh, trying to force a pass to Frecking, and instead, last touch. No, they're going to overrule that one. They tried to say that was going to be Champlin Park ball, but that was clearly off of the Rebels.
Reached in front of Frecking there.
There we go. Yep. Clearly picked out of bounds by Champlin Park as we take another look at that. Yeah, not even. Good job by the referees getting together there and making sure that they got that call right.
Coach Novak calling a play there on the sideline.
Frecking trying to push off to get open, can't do anything, and Novak wants the push call, can't get it. And instead we go the other way. Lillard for three, wide open, air ball, but a rebound by Ava Holman. Apenga steps up for defense. Lillard back out, now Giles. They work together, Mushangi. They're back into a zone, are the Tornadoes, a 2-3 zone, and a steal by Youngquist. Great job on the defense by the Tornadoes. Apenga runs the floor, but doesn't have the numbers.
It does feel a bit like Anoka's with a bit of their back against the wall here. They're kind of making some mistakes defensively. They're getting caught in mistakes on the rush. They're not making their passes down low. They're not hitting their shots deep. It just feels like that they're not quite as clean as they were last week.
Oh, nice feed inside, but Lackinen can't finish. That was a good look by Apenga and a good clear out by Lydia. Not able to finish, but a good job by Youngquist to get her hands in the passing lane. Nice feed by Apenga and a nice bucket for Lydia Lackinen.
A good job of drawback within one there.
18 for Lydia Lackinen tonight. It's 33-32, just underway second half. What's been a really good game here. Big three for Burchett. How about another one? You can't stop her right now.
That's not what you want if you're Anoka. That's good job for her. I mean, what an excellent shot she's had so far tonight. But if you're Anoka, that's the last thing you want to see is her open taking shots.
16 for Ashley Burchett. Nice drive by Youngquist. Can't finish because she couldn't get it off the window. Instead, it goes hard off the heel. Burchett's red hot from the outside. Will she keep shooting? Oh, spinning around. Just has the ball on a string right now. Stepping up from the elbow. Decides to pass it off instead. Giles.
Sometimes you just got to appreciate when a player is just hot, and she is just red hot right now with the ball in her hand.
Mariah Pates got the good look she wanted on the inside, just couldn't finish it. Youngquist able to control for Anoka. Youngquist brings it in. Now Lydia, who's again been working as more of a point guard tonight, a point forward, if you will. Frecking guarded by Giles. Now the double team comes. Good job on the defense. And they're going to get a travel call on Maddie, and I think that's a good call. Good defense from Champlin Park as they're going to replace all 5 starters with 5 reserves here. Interesting stuff from Coach Arthur Crutch as he just keeps them coming.
Yeah, an interesting change in strategy here for Champlin Park. You wonder if now how long this will be out here. It's an opportunity for Anoka to leave their starters out there and maybe get on a bit of a run here and try to come back here. You have a true size advantage out here against these 5. You would think that your starters should be able to play with some backups here, but Anoka looks really out of sorts.
You don't see the very rare, that's a foul on Laurel Kuyan as she tries to come inside but reaches on Span, why can't I say the name right? Jaden Span. But you don't ever see the straight replace 5 for 5 usually. That's not every day, but I love it. That's fantastic stuff from Coach Arthur Crutch. Span catches up top at the free throw line.
If you feel like you can keep your lead with your 5 backups, then
it
says a lot about how you feel about the team that you're playing and the game that you're playing right now.
Or if it just buys you 2 minutes. I mean, just hang in there, buy yourself 2-3 minutes. That's not bad.
Go get your team some Gatorade, give them a breather.
Good steal there from Lackinen on the drive. A nice give and go. Lydia finishes on the inside. She's got all 6 in the second half for the Tornadoes and a quick timeout.
Good game so far. I mean, we've seen that, that sort of chess match being played more by Champlin Park than Anoka at this point. It doesn't feel like we've seen a ton of adjustments from Anoka yet. They're still kind of trying to get their game going, trying to kind of play the same game that they've played to this point as we look at the schedule here for Anoka.
Centennial, they're going to host them pretty soon next week. At Maple Grove, that'll be a big game. At Robbinsdale, that's a big stretch there, that 3 road game stretch, and then finally back home to Minnehaha Academy here in the next couple of weeks. So a pretty stiff test coming up for Anoka. That's what makes this game so important for both teams, really.
Yep.
You want to be able to get this one in conference. On the other side, Champlin Park, they got to deal with Maple Grove. That's next game. They're home hosting Maple Grove, and then at Blaine, at De La Salle, home to Totino Grace, and then at Wyzetta. So a tough stretch for both squads coming up here.
No slouches on either schedule.
No
there.
kidding. There's you gotta earn it, earn your keep in this conference. Over the reach and foul, kind of over the back on Lydia Lackinen.
And this state really, which is really becoming a more and more of a basketball state as the years go. An impressive crop of basketball, both boys and girls coming into the state. Both these teams fielding good teams.
Well, it's cold out in the winter, so you might as well go inside and play some basketball.
That's right.
And a timeout from Coach Arthur Crutch takes 30 seconds. I'm sure he saw something he didn't like in the offense, so they'll reset here in a 36-34 game.
I'll tell you what my dad used to tell me, it's cheaper to buy basketball shoes than hockey skates.
Well, that's true. It is still the state of hockey as well, as they say.
That's absolutely right.
Although a good friend of ours would tell you that's Massachusetts, actually. But
don't say that around these parts, Tom. It's fine to say in private company, but you don't say that in public.
You're right. I just said that, now it's streamed out. I'm sure, you know, the 35 people that saw this are going to be really uptight.
You said that on television. I don't know how to help you if you're going to say that stuff.
The problem is you can't unsay it. Now that it's been said.
It's out there.
Yeah, you're right.
They're going to run that clip into the ground.
You certainly can't run for office in this state.
I know.
Well, I had no intention of it.
Well, that's, you know, you didn't want to be a public figure anyway.
Certainly not. I would rather not be a public figure.
That's fair.
That's what they tell me. But I am anyway. Here I am. Back to play, inbound Brianna Jackson. Fresh into the game, that's Samantha Belangi who has it up top. Feeds Olivia Mell. Mell guarded by Kuyan, staying in kind of that zone are the Tornadoes. 2-3 zone where they run the guards up top, and now they switch it out. McKay comes up. Nice poke away by Mushangi. Kuyan doesn't have the numbers and then loses the ball. It's on the floor, and it's going to be a held ball. Possession arrow goes back to the Tornadoes. So the defense working. Coach Novak has kind of flashed that zone defense from time to time, and that zone seems to be working nicely.
Yeah, Kuyan holding the back of her head there. Looked like maybe she had a braid get tugged. She was just checking the back of her head. Hope she's okay.
Yeah, well, they start diving on the floor after loose balls. And
you see one braid in that bun came loose. Looks like maybe one got pulled a little bit.
Lackinen. Nice backdoor feed, Mushangi, but she's in amongst the trees. Has to kick it out and does. McKay back to Lackinen. Over to Youngquist. Youngquist wants to drive. No room. Got to go somewhere with it. Feeds Lackinen on the inside again. This time she can't finish, although she's been able to finish everything from in there, just not that one. And Champlin Park takes control once again.
No shame in taking that shot if you're Lackinen. You've been able to make that all night. You just got to make sure you slow that down, get your footing, and take the good shot rather than the first shot.
They might be leaning on her right now because now the matchup advantage seems to be in favor of Champlin Park in some areas. Chance for Belangi, that time off the window, no good, but an offensive rebound, a rare one for the Champlin Park Rebels, and it's Tolentino who's going to get that one. And just like that, the lead's pushed back up to 4, and here come the 5 starters getting set to come back in. And a foul called there as Jackson came across and fouled Frecking, or take that back, McKay.
And suddenly it's a 2-possession game. If you're Anoka, you got to start to look at that clock a little bit and talk about, you know, how many breathers can we give our starters down 2 possessions here? Who can we sub in? Who can we sub out? And how long are they going to be sitting for? Because right now you're down and Champlin's playing with some momentum. You've got teams like you got players like Burchett coming back in who are hitting everything.
It's fascinating to watch the way the adjustments have been made by Coach Arthur Crutch in the sense that he's gone with, you know, the wholesale changes. A nice little weave move there from Apenga, catching it across the way. Now Lackinen up top. Lydia feeds Evan Apenga. Love to see her get going. Same with Frecking. Frecking just with 4 today. Guarded by Mariah Pates up top. Frecking trying to use the speed advantage. Will pull back, can't do it. Rebound Lackinen on the offensive glass and puts it away. Boy, Lydia Lackinen's having a big night.
And she seems to be the only one who is.
22 points for Lydia Lackinen.
Outscoring the rest of the team combined. I mean, you're gonna want someone else to step up here down the stretch if you want a shot to put this game away and keep that record as it is. Get to 12-3 here.
That zone's got to move, as you can hear Lizzie Shoknek yelling from the baseline, yelling underneath about how the zone's got to work.
Good awareness there by Shoknek to call that out. Your teammates aren't paying attention. It's your job to call that out if you see it.
Really good stuff from the young sophomore, communicating well on the defensive side. And the zone is all about that, as you can tell, and you can see it right now. They jump all over that. Kuyan and Shoknek converge on it. Great defense from the Tornadoes.
And they're going to give that possession arrow to Anoka here, it looks like.
Now they'll stay with Champlin Park, as it looks like, unless they think it was deflected last, but I think this is off Anoka, clearly. Take a look.
Okay. Yeah,
as this is rejected. Yeah, they got a little fingertip on it.
Referee signaled the wrong way that time.
That can happen.
That sure can happen the other way.
It sure can. Burchett will inbound underneath for the Rebels. Holman will catch up top. Kuyan will come out and guard.
Champlin slowing it way down here.
Extending that zone. Burchett comes off, takes the handoff pass from Holman. And now Burchett, you're right, going to back it off, going to play a little slower and try to see if they can break the zone down. Burchett tries to do that, but it'll be a touch foul on Laurel Kuyan.
Kuyan having a bit of a rough second half here so far. Had the good hustle to dive down and get the ball at midcourt there, but so far a couple of bad, a foul there, a couple of bad shots taken so far tonight, a couple of turnovers. Kuyan having a rough game.
This Champlin Park team, I think, has really stymied the guards of this Anoka Tornado squad. That's going to be a backcourt and a turnover. And that's the one thing you point to. You just look at the guard scoring, really from both sides. The guards for Champlin Park are physical, they're athletic, they can shoot from the outside, and I think the guards of Anoka have had a tough time getting going. It's not that there haven't been shots. There have been shots. They just got to knock a couple down, but so far the advantage has been there. Fake shot there for Frecking on the inside. Counted and one coming. And they had to have that one from Maddie Frecking. And that's a big one. The thing to remember is just how young this Tornadoes team is. Frecking, again, just a sophomore on the inside, able to take care of that. That was a big one inside, and that's a foul on Giles.
And just to get back to the conversation about the guards for Anoka here, I mean, you look at you've had opportunities to take shots outside, and they just haven't been going down.
Yep.
Right. You've had open looks. You've had opportunities. It's not like Champlin's taking you completely away. You've just got to nail your shots when you get the opportunity to take them. They just haven't done that so far.
Huge possession there as the Tornadoes fight all the way back. They got the 1-point lead once again. And this is a back-and-forth game. I feel like we're going to go down to the wire tonight at the Fieldhouse. Fun one inside the Northwest Suburban Conference between two teams that are pretty good. Little drive by Burchett. Back up top for Pates for three. That's an odd look. Like to see her catch it underneath, but instead she shoots that three, not afraid. Now they go the other way. Apenga wants to drive on the baseline, and that's rejected, knocked away. Apenga getting in amongst the trees.
Apenga just not able to get anything going yet tonight.
I like that move, though, to drive it. Because
Yes.
the three hasn't gone. Let's put it on the floor. Let's go to the basket.
Yeah, and it's the first time tonight we've really seen some major adjustments from Anoka in their strategy, and it seems to be working so far on this 5-0 run. You know, need to continue to not make mistakes here and just drive this here.
Yeah, Maddie Frecking travels. See, what happens, what they're doing really well, Champlin Park, is they are collapsing on those post players, and it forces turnovers like that. That's a travel. Frecking was looking for an outlet, but instead got two Champlin Park players in their face.
Yeah, so right there what you got to do is just move with a little more urgency. You can't stand and look for the pass. You kind of just got to go. You got to make a decision and put the ball out of your hand.
Well, now you got to anticipate that double. That's going to be coming, so you got to be ready for it when it happens. Burchett up top. Burchett's a fun player to watch.
There's another shot.
Burchett thinking about making a move. Nice, quick little crossover.
They're doing a good job of taking Burchett away so far in the second half.
That's what this zone defense is sort of designed to do, force you to step back and shoot jumpers. Youngquist, that's a good matchup for Mariah Pates, but not able to finish, and Youngquist is able to secure the rebound as they're just trying to buy Lackinen a couple of minutes on the bench. Frecking has 7 points, trying to find a matchup up top. Frecking sees a double coming, now going to try to go one-on-one with Ava Holman. Inside, Pates comes in, and Frecking's going to keep the ball. Youngquist back up top, Mushangi.
Would like to have seen Mushangi take that shot there. She had an opportunity and just didn't take it.
I don't know if it was the best look. We'll see if they pull back, but Apenga. Now Apenga wants it. Can't get it. I think I wanted the first one from Mushangi. In hindsight. Burchett.
You're seeing Champlin do such a good job of just collapse on every single shot. When you have an opportunity with even just a little bit of space, you got to try and put it up to get a little bit of heat going and put some pressure on them to make some shots, because right now they're not feeling a ton of pressure. You're keeping them in a one-possession game. They feel like down low they have an advantage. They're going to be able to drive that the entire time, slow it down, and feel like they just want to get the last shot. You've got to put some pressure on them and take shots where you can get them.
Big timeout again from Coach Arthur Crutch. They only got one left. I mean, I think one full timeout left is what they have, because one thing about Coach Crutch, not afraid to call some timeouts and talk it over.
Haven't seen a whole lot out of Anoka calling timeouts yet.
Yeah, Coach Novak's letting them play.
I wonder if we're going to see a couple of more down the stretch here as we get down into a tight game, especially if Champlin can jump out again to another lead here. We'll see. I mean, obviously Anoka still has the lead.
The rule of thumb is you'd like to have a couple in your pocket down the stretch if you can.
You got to be able to regroup, and you know, Champlin's done a really good job in this game of staying in it. But you're starting to get the feeling that Anoka's getting their looks again. They're starting to get their shots again. They're making their adjustments. They're adjusting to the double. Champlin's not making those shots. They've taken the ball out of players like Burchett's hands. Anoka has with their defensive scheme. Can Champlin continue this game? Can they continue to grow a strategy here without that 3-point shot that's been coming all day?
Nice adjustment going to the zone from Coach Novak. Seems to have worked these last handful of possessions. And you can see they're still talking. It's Lackinen stays on the bench for another few minutes. It looks like now she's getting ready to get back in. Next dead ball. Nice bump away by Lizzie Shoknecht. And I'll give a lot of credit to her. This young group, it's a young group on the floor other than Youngquist and Mushangi.
Shoknecht coming out for Lackinen.
Some good defensive minutes from the young sophomore. Really good defensive minutes.
Yep. Just a good player, good grinding player.
Now Apenga, nice crossover by Burchett. Oh, man. Just out of her shoes did go Apenga. Nice rebound by Pates on the inside. Count it, and a free throw coming. Mariah Pates' first basket of the second half. She's got 9 tonight. And that's a big foul that's going to get Youngquist her first in what's been a really clean game. Not a ton of fouls called either way. Nobody really in foul trouble here.
Yeah, Anoka just getting out-athletic right now. It just feels like
on the inside, when you got Pates inside like that, that's a tough matchup for Lauren Youngquist for sure.
For sure, but even with Burchett on that. That was.
A bailout foul there on Giles, as Frecking looked like she might have walked across, but they get the foul first, and it's on the floor.
You say walk, I say stumbled, but who could say?
Well, either way, I think Anoka will take it. Inbound play coming up here. Frecking will come out and get it. Find Mushangi up top. Going to Apenga. Wants this one from downtown and got it.
Finally.
You can't hold Evan Apenga down all night long. And again, shooters are going to shoot.
Yep. And that one from the parking lot, I mean, just
that was from the volleyball 10-foot line. That was impressive.
Just a very good shot there, as you see Champlin's going to try to answer here. But, I mean, that's if you want Apenga to get hot, that's the kind of shot she has to hit.
Nice backdoor feed to Ava Holman. And now we're battling 42 apiece with 6 minutes to go.
And Apenga will take the point here.
Frecking will catch near side. Lackinen back up top once again. Now Youngquist between the circles. Going to take a pick from Frecking. Handoff.
Holman keeping an eye on Apenga out there.
Oh, Lydia takes it all the way in, and it felt like it was in slow motion, but you still can't stop it. 24 for Lackinen, and the lead back to the Tornadoes as this thing starts to seesaw back and forth.
It just feels like Lackinen just has purpose in every movement that she makes down low.
Frecking tried to come out and catch that one on Giles. Giles dribbles, but it's rejected by Lackinen on the inside. Giles amongst the trees, but kicks it out to Holman for 3. Ava Holman getting hot from the outside.
That
How about 10 for Holman?
That Apenga-Holman matchup's going to be one to watch down the stretch here. They're both taking 3 shots. They're both getting hot.
Mushangi comes out guarded by Burchett. Burchett's just been in her hip pocket all night long. Mushangi drives, can't finish. Rebound inside by Youngquist, can't finish. Ball's up for grabs. Lillard amongst the trees, in trouble in a trap. Stolen by Mushangi. And a foul called by Ava Holman. The action furious on the inside.
What a stretch so far.
A hotly contested game. As you can see, Burchett tried to poke that one away, but Mushangi was waiting for it. We get an on-the-floor foul. Both teams still a ways to go before they're over the limit. Champlin Park leads by 1. 4 minutes, 54 to play.
In a lot of ways, you can tell this is a rivalry game. Just physical, demanding, constant grind right now. And it just feels like both teams making mistakes. Both teams... Oh.
What do we get? A timeout first. Oh, that's Coach Novak, the king of that. The king of the dive on the floor, 30-second timeout.
Oh, we saw that all last week where it felt like the team was scrambling and all of a sudden there was a timeout as soon as he knew his team had possession. A really good job by him to calm everybody down.
Maybe this is why you keep those timeouts in your pocket for late in the game. You just never know.
That's true, and it could be the difference when you get down the stretch here. We're under 5 minutes left.
What I love about both coaches, super animated, but uber positive. Like they're very positive, good coaches, and they are working it tonight. This has been a fun one to watch here at the Fieldhouse. So we're ready to get back to it with 4:44 to go. Champlin Park leads by 1. Starters pretty much stay on the floor for both sides. Holman, Giles, Burchett, Pates, and Lillard. Starters for the Tornadoes. Youngquist, Mushangi, Lackinen, Apenga, and Frecking. Youngquist trying to find the baseline. Picks up the dribble. Nice cut by Apenga. Can't finish. Laakkonen follows it up and puts it away. 26 for Lydia Laakkonen. And the lead back to the Tornadoes as we continue the seesaw battle.
Laakkonen with a shot to get up to 30 in this game. It's an excellent game from her in a season where she's been probably, if not the most valuable player, certainly one of the most valuable players for the Tornadoes.
Well, Frecking usually is the leader in scorers, and Laakkonen kind of does all the other stuff. Holman again! Ava Holman's got 13, and she's on fire from the outside.
I mean, how do you defend that? You're just watching the buckets fall at this point from deep. If you're Anoka, you're doing the best you
can. It's a big edge from the outside, a huge edge. Apenga for the answer. In and out. Oh, man, I thought maybe she was getting hot. That looked good when it left her hand. I thought that thing was going to go down, but instead, Holman trying to keep it going. Burchett thought about it from the outside, but no, she'll pull it back. 3:35 to go. 2-point lead for the Rebels. The three-pointer has been the difference tonight. The Rebels are making tons of threes. Tornadoes not so much. Burchett with a drive on Laakkonen. Can't finish, and instead it's a rebound for Anoka as they look for the tie. A feed to Frecking. Frecking's got a dance on the baseline and does. Mushangi back up top for Youngquist. Now Frecking, wide open three. Can't finish. Lydia on the floor gets another offensive rebound. A quick feed to Maddie Frecking, who fakes a little up and under and puts it in. Maddie Frecking with 9 points now. And we're tied at 48.
This game just continues to up its intensity every single possession. Just a great play there by Frecking to stick with it after the first missed shot and just come back down and take that shot again.
Staying in that zone are the Tornadoes. Backdoor cut. Holman rejected by Mushangi.
Anoka doing a workman's job down there trying to prevent buckets down low, but Champlin just grinding and grinding and grinding.
That looked like that was going to be an easy one. Good recovery by Mushangi in that zone. Over pursuing was Apenga looking for a steal. Elbow jumper, good. Boy, I'll tell you what, Ashley Burchett. It's like poetry in motion watching her shoot jump shots.
Sure does. Just a smooth as butter shot. Just not much more you can ask for that.
Great night for Ashley Burchett. Laakkonen cross-court feed. Apenga trying to answer off the window. Can't do it.
That one
and
just
a
didn't
rebound.
look like it had anything from the start.
Burchett's running the floor 3-on-1. They got numbers and a basket for Ryan Giles.
Anoka beginning to overextend a little bit, needs to calm down and slow this down. You can't outpace Champlin. You've got to find a way to grind this game to a halt again. You've got 1:59 and you're down 4. You can't afford to be giving up possessions like this.
And we don't need a three. They didn't need a three, but a steal again on the inside, and that's going to be running foul as Mushangi has to slow down Holman and does. Champlin Park running all over, and Anoka right now feels just a little bit rushed, as you mentioned, as Ava Holman has caught fire once again tonight for Burchett. Burchett has 18. Holman has picked it up. Holman's up to 13. Pates with 9. And it's really been those three. We looked at those three before the game, and it has been those three. Holman in this second half specifically has really come to play here.
Yeah, where Anoka's taken away Burchett, Holman's the one that stepped in for the scoring, and that three threat has always been there, the length of this game. And now you look at the score here with 2 minutes left, down 5, and you're going to have to start thinking about,
Don't think you need a three yet. Just got to get a basket.
Where can we start to get some scoring, and can our defense get shored up with 2 minutes left in this game?
Yep. I mean, you don't need a three yet. You don't need to panic even if you're Anoka. Mushangi trying to get going. Can't knock that one down. That was a big one. And now Champlin Park looking maybe for a dagger here with 1.5 minutes to go.
That's a shot that you'd like to see Mushangi take in the first 10 minutes, not in the last.
Well, she just hadn't been able to get going. Good open look to take, but had knocked it down. Oh, man, they're going to get a foul right there. Yeah, Frecking in pursuit of that loose ball. Might have hooked one of the Rebels. Still nobody's in the bonus yet. So we're going to play this one sideline out of bounds. So that was on Frecking, just her second. Refs let him play tonight. I think this has been a very well officiated game. It's been very good. Now we're got 1:23 to go. Champlin Park once again looking for potentially the dagger. Nice backdoor feed. Giles puts it away. Great pass by Mariah Pates. Great pass by Mariah Pates. Lackinen, they might need to hoist one now pretty quickly. 55-48. Tornadoes need to maybe start hustling with a minute to go. Apenga with a backdoor cut. Nice strip by Burchett.
And just not a whole lot going right for Anoka here in this game. You know, you felt coming into this game that, you know, they were going to have to play clean, that Champlin was going to be hungry, that maybe after the Andover matchup where Anoka plays a similar style, that Anoka would be able to jump out to something, and they just did not play clean enough basketball to get out there. And now you're stuck in this kind of dogfight with Champlin, and you're down 7 with less than a minute to go. It's a rough stretch for Anoka here.
Big difference would be that Anoka only has 2 threes tonight, nothing there on the inside. As again, that defense for Champlin Park collapses on Frecking. And a quick time, we're gonna get a foul, and that's gonna be free throws coming up. Chance to ice the game for the Rebels. I'll tell you what, tip your cap to Coach Crutch and what they were able to do tonight. This Rebels offense, they have done what they do. Like, they haven't tried to do anything other than we're gonna run the floor and we're going to make a lot of shots from the outside and we're gonna force you to play our game, and they've done that. They got the Tornadoes to play a Champlin Park basketball game tonight.
They sure did, and we noticed that at the end of that first half where we were saying you got to grind it a little bit if you're Anoka. You can't keep trying to keep pace with them. You don't have the size difference is in your favor if you're playing a grinder game, but if you're trying to play a speed game, that's Champlin's ball. Right? You can't get stuck trying to play speed ball with them. You've got to grind it and play physically because that's where your advantage is. Anoka just couldn't find a way to slow down. They just got sucked into a quick game.
Lydia had a great night tonight. There's another made basket. They'll call the timeout quickly. So it's just going to be a foul game to try to extend it as much as you can. So 2 3-pointers tonight. On the other side, if you look for the first of all, some upcoming broadcasts here at QCTV. Grand Rapids and Andover boys hockey coming up really soon. Other games, girls hockey. We're going to see Andover take on Centennial Spring Lake Park. Then we're going to get some live and local stuff at Mississippi Crossings. Boys hockey, and then back again with Blaine versus Anoka. Meanwhile, if you look at the threes for Champlin Park tonight, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-2. I mean, when you think about just what those mean, right?
That's the ball game.
24-6 from three-point land tonight.
You look at even just look at the scoreboard. I mean, 8 points. If those are 2s instead of 3s, that's the ball game.
Yep.
And here we are sitting with 36 seconds left. Anoka needs 7 points. You'd like to have made more of those 3s that you took, and
it wasn't from a shortage of attempts.
No,
definitely plenty of attempts from the outside, but had
some
a lid on it
ill-advised too. It felt like they were trying to rush a little bit early, that they just couldn't get hot. They took some better ones later in the first half, and we just haven't seen the 3-ball much from them in the second half. We've seen a couple from Apenga, but we haven't seen many more than that.
And you just felt like when Champlin needed to make a 3, like when they needed one to kind of stem the tide of this back and forth matchup. Great job beating the press by the Rebels. They beat the press. Pate's going to try to get it quickly to Burchett, who's fouled, and that's exactly who the Rebels wanted to put on the line.
Yeah, that's if you're Anoka, that's probably it for you. You're not gonna, unless she misses both of these, you really don't have much of a shot to come back in this game. It's 30 seconds left. You're down 7 points. It's about to be 9 if she can make these.
That could be 3 full 3-point shot possessions, and that's going to be tough to answer here. But obviously, they're going to keep trying to extend the game.
For sure.
Burchett, nice job there. I'll tell you what, I'm super impressed with Ashley Burchett. This is my first time really getting a chance to watch her play, and I just like her whole game.
Yeah, it feels like it's pick your poison with these Champlin Park Rebels. They just seem
Especially
to have
these guards. Yeah, these guards can do stuff, and Pates is great on the inside.
They just seem to have a consistent scoring ability from somewhere.
Yep.
You take one away, another one is open. You take that one away, the third one is open. The fourth one. Go down the line. You had 3 or 4 people on this roster tonight for Champlin Park that were scoring.
Foul on Burchett as Mushangi tried to force the issue inside, and you could tell that Burchett was a tough matchup tonight for Sammy Mushangi. I think a little bit bigger, definitely quick, very quick guard who can shoot threes in the backcourt. It was a tough one.
The quickness, I think, is where you get Mushangi, because that's her game. She's this assassin kind of player that is quiet on the court, isn't taking a ton of shots, but is a pest, can get can get some steals. I think we saw one ball get poked away in the first 10 minutes, and since then it's been silence from her. So if you want to get somebody going, if you want to get the team going, you got to get Mushangi going because the offense hums around her. If you don't get her going, you're kind of stuck in this game where you have to put it down to Lackinen and you have to play down low, and you don't necessarily want to do that in a game where you're playing fast.
It is such a young team, this Tornadoes team, that they have to rely on the seniors they have. So it's Youngquist, it's Mushangi, and you sort of look to those seniors in those tough moments to kind of, get a big basket here, something like that. And just tonight, it was just tough sledding. I'll tell you what, again, big credit as Burchette goes ahead and makes another one. And now she's put a good second half together as well here. She's got 11 in the second half, and she's got 21 for the game. Rebound by Lackinen there. She's able to get 1 out of 2. Burchette will pick up Lackinen. Lydia going to drive, try to feed somebody, can't do it. Stays alive for a Penga, and now she's stripped by Burchette. With 7 seconds to go, Burchette will get the last one to put away, and that'll give her an even bigger number of 22 points. And great job by the Rebels tonight. Wow. I'll tell you what, this Rebels team, they might be 5-5 heading into tonight. I'm a little worried about playing this group if I have to deal with them late in the season. They present some problems, especially in the backcourt.
Yeah, just good scorers, good down low. I mean, it's just a speed matchup that you have to try and punch them in the mouth early if you want to get a shot to win that game, because this is a team that'll hang around, they'll make their shots, and they'll be able to claw back into anything. But you can't make mistakes against this bunch. They will make you pay, and they did tonight.
It was really a fun game to watch. We saw some big-time players do some big-time stuff. Lydia Lackinen, in a losing effort, had a great game for Anoka. But really, the stuff Ashley Burchette did tonight for Champlin Park was really big. 22 points. And we're going to go player of the game they give to Ava Holman in the truck tonight. And Ava had a great second half as she finished today with,
it's going to be really tough for her we saw last
it's like 9, 11, 14, 17 points for Ava Holman tonight as well. And in the second half especially, came up with some big threes. When they needed to make a big basket, she got one from the outside. And it was that three-point shot that really became the difference.
Just absolutely clutch. I mean, that was... that's where you needed your shots to be taken tonight, was from Holman, and when you had Burchette get covered by that zone shift in the second half there. Just a good job by Champlin Park to get that done.
So a fun one tonight on QCTV. We hope you enjoyed it wherever you were in this snowy evening. Fun one. Thanks again.